If you're a VR user, you probably know what a home environment is. It's a virtual home you see when you put on your headset. Oculus headsets have home environments, SteamVR headsets have them too, and even phone VR devices have these kinds of environments. It's a really basic thing that probably not a lot of people think about. It's because in VR we want to play games, we don't want to look at virtual mountains and books. But I do. So today I'm gonna take a look at Oculus's and SteamVR's home areas. I'm gonna compare how much you can customize them, how open they are, and how efficient they are. I'm not gonna rate them with numbers, I'm just gonna tell my opinion. I don't wanna keep anybody waiting, so let's just jump into it. This is the place which probably most VR users are familiar with, the Desert Terrace. The default virtual environment for the Quest 2. I'm just gonna call them VEs because I don't wanna keep repeating these words. It's a nice 3D area where you can access your games and apps. Most of them have some kind of an ambience and some moving objects. You can walk around in them if you have a huge play space, or you turn off your garden system, but there's no way to interact with the objects there. And not only that, but you're limited to a few default VEs, which is pretty sad. I mean, if you really want to change your Quest 2's VE to a custom one with side quest, Tyler Wood made a tutorial on how to do that, so links in the description. Anyways, that's about it for the Quest 2's VEs. It gets the job done and it's working perfectly. Sadly, it's not that customizable, but it kinda makes sense because it's a standalone device running on a single CPU. Now, let's take a look at the SteamVR Home. All PC VR users probably know what the SteamVR Home is. Some people hate it, some people just don't really care about it. It makes sense why some people don't like SteamVR Home. It's because you don't actually need it to launch anything, it's just there to make some things more user-friendly or something, even though the menus of SteamVR are already user-friendly because it's basically Steam Big Picture mode. Okay, it's time to actually talk about the iconic Summit Pavilion. The default VE for SteamVR, and it's something that a lot of people saw when they got into VR for the first time. It has big mountains in its skybox, it has a nice tree, and of course the main panels where you can launch games and stuff. Yeah, okay, it's great looking, we got it. So now that we took a look at the default VEs, let's dive into the user-generated content. Steam is a really open platform. The Steam Workshop allows users to create their own mods and assets for their favorite games. And surprise surprise, you can upload your own SteamVR environments too. So there are basically no limits, you can make whatever you wanna make. If you wanna set your sky to Roblox baseplate, you can. If you want to change your home environment to Family Guy living room, you can. Or you could just set your home VE to Russell's Lab from Half-Life Alyx and make it your own by adding more props and furniture. The amount of customization you can do here is just insane in my opinion. It truly shows how open SteamVR is. And it's not just about the user-generated content. Some amazing DIY VR projects were born, for example SlimeVR, because Valve lets you do whatever you wanna do with their VR app. Okay, I got a little bit off track here. There is also a social feature, so you can meet your friends in virtual reality. Or you can meet random people because you can host public rooms. I quickly wanna mention how simple and good the SteamVR avatars are, by the way. Like, it's simple, cute, and it does the job. In my opinion, they're way better than the Oculus avatars. Like, seriously, just look at those things. So, how easy to use is SteamVR? I would say that it's pretty damn user-friendly. Its controls are easy to learn and I only had a few problems, but I managed to solve them. It's a great app and obviously is the most customizable VR application. But what if you don't like Valve and you have an Oculus headset? Then I have some good news for you. Oculus has its own VR application too. Wow, that's really surprising, isn't it? The Rift Home is like Oculus's SteamVR Home. When you install the official Oculus software, the Rift Home will also get installed on your PC. It was made back in 2016 when the CV1 released, so people could launch their VR games and all that stuff. Of course, you don't need a CV1 to access it, you just need to hook up a Rift S, Quest 1 or 2 and you're ready to go. Not a lot of people use this application because usually we just boot this up, then we boot SteamVR. There are a few Oculus exclusives in the store, but still most of the people just use SteamVR. And I think Oculus kinda knows about this because it looks like they only updated it when Oculus Link became a thing, but I might be wrong. But that's not what we're here for. Let's look at the Rift Home. It's a nice typical looking VE with way more interactive objects than the Quest 2's. You can teleport, grab, and even customize your entire home space. I was actually really surprised of how customizable the Rift Home is. I felt like it's actually more free than SteamVR. I found myself just scrolling and scrolling through the virtual objects, trying them out and just having fun with them. You can even change the ambience, the sky and lots of other stuff. And that's not all. Just like in SteamVR, you can make your words public and invite other VR users to try them out. I think that's pretty cool, but sadly most of the words are basically empty. And well, some of them are just a mesh of random objects on the floor. I guess no one is really using the Rift Home anymore. I could be wrong though. Of course, you don't get the same amount of freedom that you would get in SteamVR, but still you get a lot of customization options. It actually really surprised me because I thought that the Rift Home was way more, closed off. I'm actually kind of sad that it's deserted because there's a lot of things you can do there and I wish more people used it. If you're an average Rift Home enjoyer, comment it down below. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a like. I'm trying to make my content better, so feedback is very much appreciated. Check out my other videos, I guess. I don't know, I'm just happy that you actually got to the end of this video. I might just let my outro, draw, do whatever you wanna do. Bye.